everyone. How are you? I'm just sitting here sipping my coffee. I gotta wake up with the coffee. It just has to happen. So I did a react last night to the stuff going on with Foodie Beauty, and then I watched it, and I wasn't happy with the way it turned out. So I thought I'd redo it this morning. So this morning, I'd like to go over what's going on with Foodie Beauty. And also, I would like to cover Peetz because he did a live recently and he was saying a lot of things about looking for a job, finding a job. Want to go over that too. And also cover some things that I found on Twitter. Before we get started, though, I would like to say something first. Foodie Beauty, in my opinion, she's exploiting the Muslim faith, the culture, the people. Everybody watching this react video, we all have our own beliefs. And just because one person has different beliefs than another person, it doesn't mean that one person is wrong. Spirituality, it is very personal. And if you're someone and you are attracted to a faith or a religion, if it's where you're called to go, you feel that is the right path for you. If you're going to that path because you feel called to it, you feel drawn to it, you feel a calling in your heart. And as long as you are involved with that faith and you are not hurting yourself nor anyone else, then it's the right path for you. So the words I'm going to say about Foodie Beauty, it's strictly for her. As I've said, I have no problem with anyone who is Muslim or is part of that faith. As I mentioned, a personal path is just that, it's personal. What I do have a problem with is when a person is involved in a faith or a belief, not because of the true calling in their heart, because they're trying to use it to escape from awful things they do or how they are. And they exploit that faith, which Foodie Beauty has done and she continues to do. I got a problem with that. No problem with anybody who's Muslim or the faith. There's lots of respectful people in the world who are Muslim, that they are true to their faith. Foodie is not that person. She's exploiting it. She's using it for views and for attention and controversy and drama. It's very fake, it's very phony, and it's disingenuous and it's distasteful. So let that be known. Let that be known before we get started. So, where to start first? Let's talk about Peetz. Because Peetz did a live recently. And he was talking about jobs. You know, I know that Peetz, he suffers from depression. I acknowledge that depression can be very debilitating. It's debilitating for a lot of people across the world. But here's the problem that I have with Peetz. If you're suffering from depression and you have resources available, there are people to talk to. You have the money to go to therapy, you have the money to help yourself. And if you decide, despite all of these things, I am not going to help myself, then that means you really don't want to improve yourself. You don't want to change. You want to talk about being depressed, but you don't want to take the active steps to maybe manage the situation or fix the situation. So Pete suffers from depression. He knows he has it, but he is not being proactive in finding ways to manage it or to fix things to where he can go out into the world and be part of the world. Pete's moved in with Chantal about 2 or 3 years ago. and he had a job. He was making money. The job that he had, he was not happy with, but he did it. He had a little bit of independence. And over the course of time, he's just become way too codependent on Foodie Beauty. He expects her to pay all the bills and all the rent while he can just sit in his room and do nothing. This is not healthy. And it's also not realistic because he is a grown man. He's able to work, even if he couldn't go outside the home and work. There are online jobs. Maybe he thought that his YouTube channel would take off more than what it has, and it has not. So YouTube is one of those things that you can't really depend on YouTube to make a steady, stable income. It's good to go out and find steady, stable income that you can count on. And that's something he almost refuses to do. A lot of people have been warning Peetz for months to get on his own 2 feet, to get a job, to get stable income, because Foodie was going to leave him high and dry at some point, or she would one day just turn to Peetz and say, I'm not going to support you anymore. And the people that were warning him were people in his own chat, people that care about Peetz. There are viewers that actually care about him as a person. But Peetz has just become too trusting of Foodie. I think it's a combination of trusting her too much and then just absolutely refusing to better himself, to change himself. So he just has a very toxic comfort zone that he doesn't want to come out of or change in any way. Because if you step out of your comfort zone, then you might experience some anxiety or fear of the unknown, the uncertain. And I have to do for myself. And how am I going to do that? And he's just gotten too comfortable with Foodie. But I want to show you guys the live stream where he's talking about jobs and his issues of getting a job. So I would like to bring up a very short video from Marley Hendrix, and I will leave the link in the video description for you guys to find it. And I absolutely encourage checking out Marley Hendrix and leaving a comment over there and a like, because they certainly deserve it. You know, you got to show some love to channels like Marley Hendrix, the clip channels, because they always get the interesting tidbits. All right, so let me just go ahead and play the clip so you guys can watch with me.
Since Chantel's about to be back, I'll probably start looking for jobs outside of Ottawa.
So he's waiting for Foodie to come back, and then he'll start looking for a job. Why does you getting a job, how does that even relate to her coming home? Why do you have to wait for her to come back for you to start looking for a job, Peetz? She's been gone for months. You couldn't look for a job then? I would actually think that it would be more peaceful to look for a job while she's not there, being loud and obnoxious in the house. You could actually get some decent sleep, get up in the morning, take a shower, get online and start looking, maybe walk around and start looking. She's coming home soon. In fact, it is my opinion, she's on her way right now. Foodie's been quiet. She's been very quiet, and she's been dropping clues for the last week. Y'all remember her doing that community post where she said she made a big deal over cleaning out the fridge? My gut instinct told me that she was cleaning out the fridge because she and Salo were getting ready to move out of there. Because I can only think of 2 times when you clean out the fridge. Either you're really hungry and you're getting all the food out that you can get so you can have something to eat, or you're moving. You gotta clean everything up so you can get whatever security deposit back. You can't leave the place a mess. So she dropped that clue. Then she did the snack haul. To me, that looked like airplane food. I noticed there was no food in that haul of things you can put in a fridge or a freezer that you can eat later. It looked like airplane food. And then Foodie's been quiet. for the past couple of days. So I said earlier, I think she's coming home way before the 29th. And it looks like I was right. And a lot of other people who said so were right. That the feeling was correct. She's coming home early. She may have told everybody that she's coming back on the 29th, but I've always said, I got a feeling she's going to come back a lot earlier. She's going to get into Canada, make a pit stop at Natter's house, maybe get some party favors, get something to eat, maybe take a nap over there because I'm sure she's going to have wicked jet lag after 17 hours. I did notice another little thing that popped out. Natter got a huge grocery haul not too long ago. And it looked like food for more than 2 people. It was huge. Hundreds of dollars worth. Just popped up out of nowhere. Why do you need all that food, Natter? For Foodie, because she wants to eat. So there's been little clues been left everywhere. But going back to you, Peetz, why do you have to wait until Foodie comes home for you to find a job? Is it because you're unsure if she's going to move out or you're going to move out? And maybe the thinking is, well, I'm going to see what's going on before I am proactive with taking care of myself. You should take care of yourself anyway. I think it is ridiculous and unrealistic that as a almost 40-year, I don't even know how old he is, you as a man that's able-bodied, it's unrealistic to rely on an ex-girlfriend to take care of you until the day you die. You are not her son. She has no obligation to you. If you were living with Foodie and living off of Foodie because she puts you in debt, and maybe you living there rent-free, bill-free was kind of a way to get some of that money back, you've been living with her for at least 2 or 3 years. And if Foodie was covering your share of the rent, your share of the bills, she's probably already spent about 30 to 40 grand. I don't know how much debt she had with you, but I think it's been paid off by now. And even if it weren't, clearly Foodie wants to go in a different direction. She wants to be with another dude who is not you. And she's looking at you as a burden. Because Natter can't come over and nobody can come over while you're there. It would be uncomfortable. She was given the signal way back when she was with Natter, that she was interested in other men and looking to get away. Your time has come, Peetz. Your time has come. You need to be more proactive with yourself. You need to be more independent. You need to stand on your own 2 feet. You need to do things for you. Stop relying on Foodie. She is not reliable. She's also in very bad health. If anything medically happened to her to where she could not work, what would you do? The worst time to wait to prepare for something is that last minute. The earlier you prepare, the better off you'll be. But let's watch this clip.
I didn't want to look for jobs outside of Ottawa while I was, while Chantal
I'm sorry, pardon me for a second. He talks really fast. Let me just slow it down a bit.
was overseas. I can't really move everything by myself, so.
But Peetz, where are you going to move it to? If you have no money to move out, because moving is a very expensive process. And even if you have the money, then comes the task of finding a place that is open for rent. So you have that whole bedroom full of furniture, your bed, your comic books, your Little Pony collection. None of that stuff is packed up. Even if it was, you don't have a place already set. Do you have first and last month's rent? Do you have security deposit? Do you have money to turn on the utilities? I don't think so. You mentioned that you got a nice check from YouTube. I don't know what you consider nice, but do you have at least 6, 7 grand put away? Because that's what's going to cost you to move, with giving money for first and last month's rent, security deposit, all of that. Maybe a moving van, because Foodie doesn't have a moving van. Who's going to move you? Who's going to move you? That's why you need a job right now, so you can take care of these things, prepare for these things. You haven't tried it all. You haven't prepared at all. Your name is on the lease, so Foodie can't legally kick you out. But at the same time, if she leaves and goes someplace else, which she could do because she's got that kind of income, what's going to happen to you? Within a month or two, you're going to get kicked out anyway. So, again, why are you waiting until Foodie gets home? Why are you waiting until the 12th hour to prepare?
Not here before you get into politics. Well, I'm not active in politics. Well, yeah, Barney, I'll start applying soon. And that's the thing. Dipping a candy bar into Nutella. Not something I would do. Why I said well? Because I've had no luck getting a. I've had no luck looking for jobs in Ottawa. Since I can't find since I can't find a job in Ottawa, look outside Ottawa.
You know, even if there were no jobs in Ottawa, what about online jobs? What about those? Have you looked at any sites offering online jobs? There's lots of jobs you can work remotely from home. Have you tried looking at sites like that? Have you put in any applications at all? I don't think you have. I don't think you've explored all your options, nor are you interested in exploring those options because you're still under the impression that Foodie's going to come home and things are going to be the way they were. Foodie is putting on appearances of being a newly reverted Muslim woman. That means she cannot live with a man that is not her husband. You're not her husband. So if she comes home and she's living there and you're living there, that's going to look bad for her. Not that she could kick you out, like I said, because your name is on the lease. Honestly, I think Foodie should be moving out on her own if she's allegedly married and a newly reverted Muslim woman. She needs to get out. Although that's going to put you in a tight spot anyway, Peetz, because you sat there on your butt for 3 months, didn't do anything. You didn't even clean the house, bro. 3 months and you can't clean the entire house? What did you do for 3 months? Nothing.
I have, Rebecca. There were a couple of data entry jobs I applied to at the start of the month.
Okay, so he said a few minutes ago that there were no jobs in Ottawa. He just said there are jobs. So you lied, Peetz. You tried to say a minute ago there were no jobs. Now you're saying there are jobs, but they were data entry jobs, and that's a job you do not want. You don't want anything to do with customer service because it gets on your nerves. Hey, Peetz, customer service, sometimes it's a joy. Sometimes you talk to a lot of nice people. Sometimes you talk to people that are not so nice. It's part of the job. You don't have to love your job to do your job, but you do have to make money. You do have to take care of yourself. You can't rely on your roommate or other people to do it for you. You're an adult now. You're not a child, and you shouldn't behave like a child. You shouldn't feel so entitled to other people's money.
Never heard back. There were a couple, Rebecca. 2 or 3. And I've looked a couple other times, Rebecca, and the jobs that are available are jobs that either I am not qualified to do, or jobs that if I did, I would want to fucking die.
You know what, Peetz? This is what sucks about you. Number one thing that sucks about you, the way you treat BBJ. The passive aggressiveness, that's gross. I'll always look down my nose at you for that. But here's what else it sucks. Do you understand, sir, that all this time that you've been living with Foodie, not working, You were in a prime position where if you wanted to learn extra skills, get extra training, get a degree of some kind, get some knowledge. You've been home all this time. You could have taken online courses for stuff and improved your skill sets. A lot of people wish to improve themselves, but their time is eaten up by their regular job, their home, their children, coming home and cleaning the house and all that. You can't make those claims. You can't say, oh, I had no time. You've had nothing but time, nothing but. And you wasted all that time. So you're saying, I don't have that much in the way of skills to offer people, so it's harder to find work. So you know what that means? That means you take what you can get. You take what you can get, you take what's available, you work with that. You take the job, you make the money, and you get yourself motivated to learn more to maybe get a better job later. Use that determination to go up and do better. That's what you do. That's how you handle it. Be interested in learning and changing and evolving rather than sitting still and being stagnant. I don't feel sorry for you. Been sitting on your butt for 3 years, doing nothing, going nowhere, not improving. You could have. You could have. People were urging you to do it. People were encouraging you to do it. The resources are there. The knowledge was there. You just didn't care to reach for it because you just got too cushy living off of Chantal and living under the impression, oh, she'll be here forever. She's gross. Nobody will ever want her. So she's stuck with me. So we can just stick together. That's a very unhealthy way to think.
Like, I don't want to work somewhere that makes me want to not be alive anymore, you know? Yes, they were work from home.
See, I don't like that triggering language he just used. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like that emotional manipulation. No, no, no. He learned that crap from Foodie. So you don't want to work somewhere that makes you miserable. Nobody does. Nobody wants to work a job that makes them feel miserable. Nobody. It sucks if you have a job and it's negative or it's stressful. Nobody wants it, but it's what you got to do, Peetz. At first, it doesn't mean you got to do it forever. If you have a job and it sucks, you take that aggravation, you turn it backwards, you turn it into determination to do better for yourself and get out of that job. But you got to start somewhere. If you've got not much in the way of skill sets, you get what you can, you make it work, you keep your bills paid, you pay your rent. On your off time, you study, you improve yourself, and then you can jump to something that you enjoy more.
Sandy, I don't think I'd be qualified. I don't think I'd be qualified for sperm donations. A job. But a job is something that makes you want to fucking stop existing.
See, there we go again. You know, the attitude I'm getting from Peetz, he thinks just because he's on YouTube and there are people in his audience that honestly care for him, they care about his welfare, they care about where he's going and how he's doing. He's got this thing in his mind. He's entitled. He thinks because he's got a YouTube channel and because people care for him, that entitles him to their money. That he could just turn on a camera, put on the sad puppy dog eyes, and put out the impression of, I can't do anything, I can't go anywhere, people feel sorry for me, send me money, pay my bills, pay my rent. You can't do that, Peetz. Those people who might be sending you money, they can't send you money every month. They can't support your bills and your rent and theirs too. You can't rely on the kindness of strangers. They might be able to be kind for a little bit, but not forever. And if you're able to work, that's what you should be doing. You should be trying. Don't come to your audience and do that emotional manipulation crap to make other people feel bad because you're in a position that essentially you put yourself in. It's not their fault. It's not their fault. People warned you. People warned you to get off your butt and do something. That Foodie was on her way out. She gave the bat signal a long time ago with Natter that she was moving away from you. She kept you around because she liked having you there to cover for her when she wanted to go see Natter, and you lied for her. She ran through you like a freight train. You had a job, you had money, you had good credit. She ran through all of that too. Now, at this point, there's nothing more for her to take from you and nothing more for you to give her. That's why she's done. She's bored with you. It's time to snap out of it. Time to do some adulting.
No, fuck that. Well, I mean, like, there's jobs, like, there are jobs I've had. It's like, I don't even want to fucking, yeah, where it's like, I don't want to fucking get out of bed. I just want to fucking cease to be.
There's that triggering language again. I hate this. You know, I'm going to say it again. Peetz, a lot of people don't like their jobs. A lot of people get out of bed and they're like, dang it, I got to go to work again. I hate my job. But you know what they do? They take a shower, they eat their breakfast, they put their clothes on, and they go to work because they know there's no other choice. There's no other choice. They got bills to pay, they got rent to pay, they got to put food on the table for themselves and their kids. They do what they got to do. I think you're being Mr. Picky person over there because right now you have a choice in a way. Foodie's paying the bills, Foodie's paying the rent. You've gotten too comfortable with that. Way too comfortable. Can't rely on her. Her name is not on the lease. She could pack her bags and leave tomorrow, and what are you going to do about it? She's not legally obligated to be there. And as I've mentioned, what if something medical happens to Foodie? God forbid she has a heart attack or a stroke or a mini stroke, and she's in the hospital for weeks and she's not making the money to bring home to you. What then? You can't rely on that toxic pile of dynamite to make your way. You got to make your own way, sir. At what point do you grow up? You are not Peter Pan. You got to grow up. You actually had more independence and more happiness when you had independence than you did when you moved in with Foodie and you just slowly lost yourself. You need to find yourself again. I know you're trying to avoid it. I know that change is scary, especially for an introverted person. I can relate. Change is very scary. If you've been basically in your shell for too long and you have to come out of it, but you got to come out of it. She wants to be with other men that are not you. You have nothing that she wants or that she needs. She's looking for bigger, better things that are not you. You got to come out of it, Peetz. But you can't sit there in front of your audience and manipulate them to give you money. You can't do that. You can't make people concerned about you and expect people to care for you so much they'll pay all your bills. That's not right.
You know, I've had jobs where it's like, nobody wants. It's not about not wanting to work. People want to work. It's just, I want a job that doesn't make me want to fucking die.
Well, what job is that though? What job are you waiting for? What would be your dream job? I know you've talked about working in a comic book store or a bookstore overnight when there's very few people. I could see why you'd want jobs like that. But here's the thing, Peetz. What if those jobs aren't available? Then what? Just wait forever until they become available? Wait months or years for those jobs to be open? What if they never are? What if they never are? Then what? Just live off of Foodie or whatever? No. Get off your butt and do something. Don't just wait around for the ideal job. Take a job and make it work until the ideal job comes around.
And like, it's not, and it's one of those things where it's like, therapy isn't going to fix that. Therapy isn't going to.
You know, therapy does not fix your attitude towards a job. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But what therapy can do is help you develop more self control, more and better coping mechanisms, coping skills for uncomfortable situations, which it seems like that's what you need, Peetz. You need therapy. You need those coping skills. You need those coping mechanisms. You need to really develop those because just getting frustrated and angry and throwing a temper tantrum ain't going to get it done.
No idea who that is. You know, like, therapy is not going to make me enjoy that job. You know, working in customer service wasn't Chantal, no. I have no idea who it was. You know, working in customer service, it was absolutely fucking miserable.
And you know what? I will agree with Peetz slightly here. I've worked customer service jobs in the past. And you get customers that are really nice to you and really respectful. They treat you with respect. And then you get the other customers that talk to you that they know that you're in a position where you're expecting to get paid and you have to behave yourself, and they are abusive on purpose, knowing that you can't talk back. Those are the customers that stress you out, and those are the customers that suck. So I get it. You know, if you're doing phone work, customer service work, you're going to deal with disrespectful, rude people, which will make you angry. But you have to know how to handle that with grace. He needs to learn to know how to do that, to bite his tongue and deal with it. Because if you deal with somebody that's rude and you maybe calm them down and turn things another way, what's the reward? The reward is you get paid. The reward is you got a place to stay. The reward is you got food on the table. You're getting paid to put up with somebody else's BS. So it's not for nothing.
It was a Quebec number, so it wasn't chapters. Working museum. I don't have the qualifications.
Right. Like so you've been saying this entire time, your problem is you're waiting for your dream job, whatever that may be. Two, you don't have much in the way of skills and you're not doing anything to expand your skills so that you can do more and apply for more. You just have a limited amount of skills, therefore it's harder to find a job, but it's not impossible. There are data entry jobs. They'll train you on job, most of them. They'll train you to know what to do. Your biggest deal is that you don't want to deal with unpleasant situations and people. Guess what, Peetz? No matter where you go, you're going to deal with unpleasant people and situations. It doesn't matter if you're doing data entry, customer service, food prep, working in a restaurant, being a CEO, you're going to have to deal with unpleasant people. That's just the way of life. There are great people and then there are unpleasant people. There's no way to really avoid that. So if you can't find something outside the home, try something inside the home. There are online jobs available. Please go look for one of those if you care. If you care. So that is a video from Marley Hendrix, and thank you, Marley, for putting that together. I will be leaving a link in the video description. So let's go over here to my Twitter. Okay. All right. So this is from Tweety. Found this morning. Thank you, Tweety. Tweety says, just realize that I can't talk this morning. I need some coffee. Excuse me for a moment. Pardon me. My tongue's in knots. Tweety says, just realize that this is unfiltered. Her eyes are a normal size. This was filmed on someone else's phone, but she had to keep it because it's the only footage she had for the only time Sala pawed at her sweaty body. Well, I will very politely and respectfully disagree with you, Tweety, because I'm looking at the picture. Does she have the filters dialed to 1,000 here? No, no, she dialed them down a bit. You can see because her face is more round and her chin is not so pointy. But one thing I am clocking right now is her skin smoothing filter. She still got that on. So it's not completely unfiltered. All she did was make it a little bit more natural looking by dialing down the obvious contour filter, which makes the lower half of her face in the shape of a triangle. But she still got that skin smoothing filter on. Her skin doesn't look completely natural to me. But great tweet. Milk tea. Hey, girl. Milk tea notoriety services. And she's reposting Chantal's post. Chantal says, I hope you're all well. I will not be going live or uploading any content from now until I arrive home. See you in Canada. I'm not actually traveling on the 28th. So Chantal has pretty much confirmed she's basically on her way home. And she'll be in Canada in about 4 or 5 hours. She's touching down in about 4 or 5 hours. Milk tea says, coward. Get her, milk tea. She came for you. She tried to put you down and she was saying awful things about you. And you know what I love, milk tea? I so love this for her. I love the fact that in this instance, the milk owned the cow. The milk tea owned the lol cow. Well done, madam. You came to the table with facts. You came logical and sensible. You were not profane. You were not vulgar. You just presented the facts. And she was raging over that because she could not argue with you. She couldn't argue. Liars always hate truth because if you have truth, that's all you need. You don't have to get loud. You don't have to get obnoxious. Just present the facts. And that's what you did. But in this case, the milk owned the cow and owned her well, too. But there's proof positive. Foodie is traveling. She's traveling. I'm predicting right now, Foodie is going to touch down in Canada, take an Uber over to Natter's, maybe get some party favors, maybe get a meal, maybe rest up a bit over there, because I'm sure she's going to have that wicked jet lag going on. Oof, it's going to be bad. And she's going to rest up before she goes home. All right. So this is from Hidden Truths. And Hidden Truth says, hashtag Foodie Beauty. Did anyone catch this? She met her husband when she came to the Middle East. That's a lie. She knew him before. Yeah, she's actually said that in a clip. She was talking about, like, this was months ago, saying that she might be getting married in Turkey. But let's play the clip anyway.
Reasons for that, why I chose to follow Islam, mostly just when I came to the Middle East and met my husband Salah. I found his
No. What you just said doesn't even make sense, Foodie. What you said doesn't even make sense because you did live streams talking about Salah before you came to the Middle East. It wasn't like you traveled there and the two of you just bumped into each other and had a connection. No, you were talking to him and setting this up before you left. So what do you mean? What do you mean, liar? What do you mean? Okay, this is something pretty, a little palette cleanser. We like palette cleansers. This is from Massimo, ice shards in Lake Turkey. As a frozen lake melts, the pieces of ice are pushed together by the water underneath, creating a stunning display of ice shards on the water. Look how beautiful that is. Absolutely stunning. It looks like pieces of glass. Amazing. Nature is amazing. Absolutely amazing. I could sit there and look at that all day. Okay, so this is from Florida Salt and Sass saying, I don't think most of us would recognize her in real life. Her face is huge and round, not elongated and pointy when she filters the heck out of it. She looks more granny and less 30 something wannabe minx that she thinks she is and tries to filter herself to appear. So, yeah, different person, huh? She looks a lot different. She doesn't have on the big lips, big eye filters. Her face doesn't look like an elf in World of Warcraft. I'm sorry, I play WoW. And whenever she does those filters that make her chin all pointy, I can't help but think of elves in WoW. Go Google a picture, you'll understand why. Because they have that triangle chin too. Okay, so this is the excuse me, the community post. We've already read that. So she's definitely on her way home. Now, a lot of people were posting this picture of her sitting down. They're trying to figure out what was going on here. And so was I. I will admit, I was trying to figure out this picture. I was looking at it. I'm like, is that her stomach or is that her leg? My first thought was she had one leg crossed over her knee. But then I was looking at it and I was like, wait a minute. Her foot is down here. We know what her Skechers look like. Her foot's down here. So her foot is resting on the floor. It looks like, I can't be 100% certain, it looks like she's resting her stomach on her knees to keep it up. But it looks like a very odd picture. Or wait, there's her leg. I think that's her leg, but it looks like both feet are on the floor. It's Foodie, whatever's going on here. It's very obvious that while you've been in Kuwait, you've gained a lot of weight. A lot of weight. You really need to slow down. You're 5 feet tall. You're a shorty like me. You're actually shorter than me. You need to slow down, girl. You need to slow down. Your body is struggling. Cut it out. Cut it out with the binges. Okay, this is from the video that I'm going to review. This is her in Salah. And she's standing next to him. And okay, they're supposed to be a married couple. Wait a second. She's talking.
And a group of like
1 second. So they're a married couple. They've been together allegedly for like 3 months. Watch this interaction. Awkward, awkward, cringy, awkward. He's kissing the top of her head. Now, I know over in Kuwait, like public displays of affection are a no-no. I don't know what's okay, what's not okay, but just the energy is just so awkward for them being a married couple.
Today, Chantal, my pretty.
And that was probably the most affection she's had from Salah the entire time she's been there. That's it. But Hidden Truth says, Foodie Beauty, all these clips look like they were filmed different days because she has a different abaya in the beginning and at the end. At the court, she is wearing the same abaya as when she was taking her oath and with Salah at home. In the end, her abaya is all black. So Foodie, she knows the reaction channels. We pay attention to detail. That's how we catch her. So Foodie has taken to, when she films something, she'll sit on it for a while. Not literally, but she will just withhold from releasing it or mixing up footage to keep us confused. The entire time she's been in Kuwait, I feel that's what she's been doing. Like she'll film a bunch of stuff and then mix it all up so nobody can like follow a timeline and catch her in her lives. Just like right now, she's on her way home. She told everybody, I'm leaving on the 29th, but I told you guys, I got a feeling she's going to be leaving earlier just so she can get home early and go over to Natter's, and she wouldn't be completely lying. She would tell people, I'll be home, the villa home, on the 29th, but the fine print, the semantics is she might be making a pit stop at Natter's. That's the part that she's leaving out. When she's doing something shady, that's when she wants her privacy. So, yeah, Natter, you better open up the door when she shows up. I'm sure she's going to be calling you saying, hey, I'm hungry. You better be making me a bunch of food. Yeah, I'm sure that's going to be happening. Season says to me personally, recording what I assume is a sacred ritual of reverting to Islam and then posting it and monetizing it for clicks and views is already a slap in the face of her newfound religion. It's super tacky and shows to me it's all for clicks and views that equate to dollars. I agree. As I said in the beginning, I have no problem with anybody out there, whatever your beliefs are, whatever your spirituality is, if that is your true calling, if that is the path that you are drawn to, it feels right for you, then it is right for you. If it's coming from your heart, it is right for you. But I don't think that what Foodie's doing is coming from her heart. I think she's just all about finding anything and everything to exploit for views. She's looking for anything controversial or drama to just keep the channel going that much longer. That's where I got the problem. Her taking a faith and a culture and exploiting that for monetary gain. It's not genuine, it's not sincere, it's not honest. It's a slap in the face to those who are Muslim that do believe in that and they are sincere about it. She's not sincere. And I have a prediction for everybody. Her coming home, being a newly reverted woman, that's going to last for about, I would say, no more than 2 weeks. And then when everybody is used to it, she's going to switch again. She's going to go back to her feral self. She will, because she knows that's what makes her money. She knows that's where the money's at, and she likes money. She likes money. And she's got several people on her payroll, people that she's got to take care of. Peetz, herself, Sala, Natter, Didi. That's a lot of people. And you got to have a big paycheck to support all those people. So you go to what works. The drama, the being vulgar, the gross, the raging. It's coming. We just got to be patient. It's going to happen, I promise you. Oh, by the way, Foodie, a little something for you. A lot of people have been asking me to do a tarot reading on you. I did. I did a personal one last night. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. The first card that I put down for you was the Three of Swords. The person sitting down at night, blindfolded, holding 2 crossed swords. Oof. You know what that card told me? The impression I got off of it. You're coming home, starting battles, but you're not ready to fight. You dug quite the hole for yourself. Quite the hole. Like you have no idea what you've done by doing what you did. By coming forward and saying that you're reverting. You put yourself in a hole. You've had the extraordinary talent before of putting yourself into a tight corner and then doing things to kind of take a couple of steps out so you can pivot around, but then you do things to put yourself back in the corner. This is going to be a really, really, really tight corner. Really tight. Because if you start off being a newly reverted Muslim and then you decide, I don't want to do this anymore, this is not who I am, and then you go back to the way you were, do you know the backlash you're going to get? Do you have any idea of how angry you're going to make people, how people are going to come for you? A lot of people are going to come for you for exploiting the Muslim culture and the faith. Do you know what you've done? In my reading, I saw the entire family of swords, the queen, the king, the page, the knight. I've never seen that before in one of your readings. Oh, another thing, Foodie, I saw 2 other cards. The judgment card was right on top of your main card. It was right there. Right next to that was the hanged man. So you're going to find yourself in quite the pickle real quick. Real quick. Real quick. It doesn't look good for you. You're not going to make the money that you think you are, but you're going to get more than what you can handle in the way of battles. So enjoy that. Enjoy that, Foodie. Okay, so this is from Failure to Launch. Failure to Launch says, I bet on my mom's life that she will eat bacon, drink alcohol, and do drugs by the end of 2023. Are you kidding me? Way before then. So this is a list of foods and things that are not that are haram if you are a Muslim. Haram foods refers to any foods prohibited by the Islamic word. Islamic faith prohibits the consumption of alcohol. Practicing Muslims do not drink or eat anything that contains alcohol. Pork is also prohibited. Muslims are not permitted to eat pork and pork products such as bacon, deli meats, ham, and sausages. Any meat prepared with alcohol or pork products are also prohibited. Gelatin should also be avoided since some gelatin products contain pork. Vegetables and fruit prepared with animal shortening, bacon, lard, or margarines, which contain monoglycerides from an animal source, must be eaten. So Foodie doesn't strike me as that kind of person that as a newly reverted Muslim woman, that she's going to inquire if somebody's making her food, what's in the food to make sure that everything is okay. She's an eating machine. She'll eat whatever is in front of her if she's hungry. So that's not going to take long for her to break. Also, on the things that as a newly reverted Muslim woman are not allowed to do, Muslims are also prohibited from gambling, taking interest, fortune telling, killing, lying, stealing, cheating, oppressing or abusing others, being greedy or stingy, engaging in relations outside of marriage, disrespecting parents, and mistreating relatives, orphans, or neighbors. Okay, so let's go over this list. Fortune telling. Hey, Foodie, what about those tarot cards? Wouldn't that fall under that? You better not do the tarot cards, girl. Lying, stealing, cheating. Oh, well, she does that on YouTube all the time. Hello, postcard club, and nobody got their postcards. And she's a constant liar, so she's going to break this one and this one. Cheating people out of money, that's still cheating. Oppressing or abusing others. She abuses her own BIB, so she's going to break that one too. Being greedy or stingy, that's Foodie. That is Foodie. That's her personality. Disrespecting parents and mistreating relatives, orphans, or neighbors. She disrespects everybody, even herself. So most of these, she's going to break in no time. In no time. So your adjustication says we should all feel inferior to this natural beauty and ashamed of ourselves for our ability to bathe and dress properly. Yeah, look at these pictures, Foodie. And you want to come for Miss Milk Tea? Do you really? You want to come for Milk Tea? You want to come for FFG? You want to come for Perfectly Imperfect? You want to come for all of us? Look at these pictures. Look at it. Look. Look. Especially this one. Miss, I am hotter than 90% of YouTube. Really? Really? That's a big claim to make. I am hotter than most of the people on YouTube. Girl, if you're making that claim, you better be hotter than 90% of YouTube. If not, you're going to look ridiculous. And you do. You know, you do. You're no one to talk about anybody's looks, Foodie. Okay, so Kristen says, y'all look, see what a difference filters make? Look, who is this? What are those? Those are filters. That's what those are. What are those? The filter game is on point. I will say that for you, Foodie. You know how to work those filters, girl. You just work them. This is what a difference that filters can make. This is the Foodie that she wants to be. This is the Foodie that she actually is. And here's a scary thing. This is the Foodie from like a while ago. Imagine what she looks like now. Being over there for 3 months and doing nothing but eating. She's only gotten bigger. She's only gotten bigger. Only gotten bigger. So, you know, like, this is what you wanted. This is what you got. Talk about mislabeling a product. Oof. All right, this is Havasu Mom's tweet. This is talking about Peetz, saying, yes, I think he's choosing now to stress out and panic. He should have done what everyone told him to do after he started memberships and stashed that money for a first deposit and kept the channel cool and clean and could possibly have had a decent small place for himself. But nope, what do we know? We tried to warn Peetz, Everybody tried, all the way back to when Foodie was with Natter. And she would do those live streams talking about Peetz in her car at the park. Y'all remember those? Where she was saying, oh, it'd be healthier for him to be on his own. And she wants her privacy. She wants to have a home where she can bring guys home and do things. And Peetz was there. She did that more than once. And Peetz ignored people, even when they told him about those streams. He just put it out of his mind. Put it out of his mind. Everybody tried to help him. They tried to help him by warning him, and they tried to help him by giving him suggestions about how to get on his feet. He didn't want to hear it because maybe he just got too comfortable with Foodie and looking at her and probably thinking, you know, she's super morbidly obese, she's gross, she's nasty, she's vulgar, she's offensive. Nobody will ever want her. So I'm comfortable in my position because nobody's here threatening my position. She will never leave. Well, guess what, Peetz? She can leave if she wants to. Your name is on the lease, not hers. And you know what, bro? You know what? If she decides to up and leave you, you're screwed. Not only will you have to worry about getting a place of your own, but all the damage that's been done to that villa, who do you think is going to be on the hook for it? Not her. Her name isn't on the lease. It's going to be you. So you might be on the hook for thousands of dollars in damages. I would imagine if the two of you did move out, the people that own the place, they're going to have to come through, rip up all the carpet, repair all the plumbing, replace appliances, repair that crack in the tile in the kitchen. They're going to have to do the repaint. They're going to have to sanitize the paint because Foodie smoked chemicals up in there. That place is going to have to be stripped bare for the next tenant. And if they got to spend money on that, they're going to come to you with the bill. So just think about that, Peetz. Think about that. She can leave you high and dry again like she did before. And what are you going to do about it? Foodie doesn't care about anybody, not even herself. You are someone from her past that she was with, and she used up, and now she wants to move on because you got nothing more for her to take. So Rocky Go About says, Foodie Beauty Peetz. Peetz knows full well what he's supposed to do if he is having an escalated problem with his depression. This trauma dumping on YouTubers who are not professionals is unacceptable. I have to block this YouTuber as it is very triggering. I'm sorry you got triggered, Rocky. And like I said, I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair for Peetz to come on camera and use triggering, alarming language and get people upset. If he needs help, I encourage him to get help. Call a hotline or something. If you need help of any kind, there are people there that want to help you. If you have questions, there are people that can give you answers. But to come to the audience and use triggering language like he did in that live stream, it's unacceptable. And it's also unacceptable to feel so entitled to other people's money that you're putting off appearances of, I'm not going to do anything for myself. I expect other people to take care of me. You're almost 40 years old, Peetz. Get up and do it yourself. People might be wanting to help more if you make an effort for yourself first. But if you're sitting on your butt, you're being lazy, nobody has any sympathy. So there's like another one of her pictures. Okay, so it's me says this does not sound like Foodie due to the response is robotic. So Sunshine Sand says, congratulations, Foodie. I have a question. How does a married Muslim woman go back to Canada and live with a male roommate? Isn't that considered haram? I would think so. So I don't care if he's transitioning into a trans woman. He's still a man. Bees are Queen. Foodie says, one had to be patient as a transition to a new life for all involved takes planning finances and time. I love all people. Whatever your sexual identity or personal identity is, it's who you are. I accept everyone. As far as Peetz and his journey, I'm still kind of confused about that. But I do know that if you are wanting to transition, it's a very expensive process. It's a very long process. So if Peetz has any kind of thought or plan to transition, that's very expensive. Where's he going to get the money? Where's he going to get the money? From Foodie? He's expecting her to pay for it? I don't think she's going to pay for it. I really don't think so. So if this is what he wants to do, he needs to be proactive with getting it done, you know? But in the meantime, for the time being, he is still technically a male. And her being a newly reverted Muslim woman, that is haram to live with a man. Havasu Mom says, everyone warned and begged Peetz to save his money to get his own place or rent out her room because she was going to drop him like a hot potato when she got home, and he ignored and said she won't do that. Oh, yes, she will. Well, she just fake converted and will now say she can't live with him, but he was warned. Can I just give my thoughts, y'all? Here's my thoughts. I think that Foodie went to Kuwait to eat, to spend time with Salah. But I think in a very cowardly, roundabout, round the corner way, she wants Peetz to be gone. I'm not saying she went to Kuwait for Peetz exclusively, but I think that there's something in her. She wants to find a way to get him away from her. But she's not that person that she's going to sit down at a table and have a talk with you and tell you her real feelings. She's going to take the coward's way out. So if she comes home as a newly reverted Muslim woman, she can just look at Peetz and use her baby voice and go, Peetz, you have to understand, I'm a newly reverted Muslim woman, so I can't live with you. So you're going to have to move out. I'm sure her master plan is to guilt trip him and make him move out so she has the place all to herself so that Nader can come over. Maybe she can move him in. But she's been trying to find a way to kind of pry him off her side for the longest, and nothing she's done so far has worked. But everybody did try to warn him. Everybody tried. Even if nobody on YouTube warned him, the signs were there. He just chose to ignore them. So I can't have sympathy for Peetz. I just can't. Can't do it. Mrs. Flupa Booty says, if it's true that Chinny said there's going to be a storm where she lands during her Milk Tea React Live, then FYI, that storm is due to hit tomorrow, which is today. I'm in Ottawa, and they are predicting 10 to 20 centimeters of snow on Wednesday. So yeah, that was another little tidbit that she let slide. Another little clue. She's on her way home, y'all. I believe she's on her way home, and she purposely kept it hush hush so she could come back. Nobody would know exactly when she was back, and if she wanted to do something or spend time with a certain somebody, nobody would be the wiser. Let's not forget this Chantal. Let's not forget her. What up,
Sweetest
Chantal?
pie tomorrow? Oh, you know it. You know I'm gonna manipulate the fuck out of you, and you're gonna eat it up, and you're gonna watch me.
Yeah, well, now that you are a newly reverted Muslim woman, you can't do those manipulating things to your audience, can you? That's haram. You can't lie to people no more. That's also haram. And you know what else you can't do, Foodie? And this is a big one. You know what else you can't do? No more mukbangs. No more binging on camera. Excessive eating is out. So pretty much everything that you do for content, you can't do no more. What are you going to do? I'd love to find out. I guess we're going to see. Okay. So Lean Cuisine Enthusiast says, my decision to seek out Islam was extremely personal and something I would never would have used as an odd plot point to gain views and money ever. Yeah, so she did a video showing herself taking the Shahada. I agree. I think that would be a very personal moment. If you're someone and you have decided to be a Muslim, it's a personal moment. And I would think that you would not want to put that on camera. because it's a personal moment. But of course, Foodie is out there to exploit anything she can to be controversial. Exploit anything for money. She's grabbing at anything for money. And the fact that she's using the Muslim faith, you know, just, it's wrong. It's so wrong. It's so horrible. Shame on you, Foodie. So here's, see, she's still got filters on. You see this? Do you see the skin smoothing filter? She's got it dialed down, but it's still there. Still using the filters. Okay, Hidden Truth says, Foodie Beauty, are we supposed to believe Chantal is now a fully converted Muslim right after attacking an innocent creator on YouTube and calling her a coward while saying the puss word over and over? I dislike how people like her use religion to manipulate others to justify their actions. Yeah, so do I. So do I. If somebody is using a faith or religion to hide behind, to escape from their evil deeds, to avoid consequence, it's wrong. It's wrong. It's one thing to get on a path because you feel drawn to it and the calling is coming from your heart. And you know you've done things wrong. You know the awful things you've done, and you are attracted to a faith and you want to be a better person. That's okay. But to try to do those awful things and you're trying to disguise how awful you are and escape from consequence and use that belief system as a shield so that you cannot suffer consequence. I mean, it's just, it's horrible. Absolutely horrible. And what's funny is that Chantal, before she left to go to Kuwait, she was wearing the hijab, wearing the abaya. But isn't it funny, y'all, that she did not take the Shahada until basically she was on her way home? Why not take it a month ago? Why not take it 2 months ago? If this is what she wanted to do, it is coming from her heart, why did she wait so long? Why? It just, to me, it feels like she did that on purpose because she was setting up the next arc of controversy and drama that she'd be dealing with back at home. That's what it feels like. And this is a Chantal that we're going to get 2 weeks from now. And I don't care if this makes you mad, Foodie. Get mad. Stay mad, Foodie. This is the real you. This is the real you. This is how you like to be. This is the real you, girl. Deal with it. That's the real you. That's the real Foodie. That's the Foodie we're going to see in 2 weeks. Thank you, Buttered Crumpet. And this is the real you, too. No filters. No filters. No big eye filter. No contour filter. This is you, girl. Queen of W2EF says, nope, not even 2 minutes in and I can't. Dude, you were just online talking crap and cursing, talking about another Muslim woman creaming herself. Yeah, like she reverted to being a Muslim. But before that, what was she doing? She was online talking about milk tea and using profanity. She talked about another Muslim woman and using a very vulgar sexual terms. That doesn't sound like somebody who is wanting to really be part of the faith for the right reasons. You know, if you're acting in such a vulgar way. The awkward kiss. Valgal says, does leaving Kuwait on 128 with court on January 30th seem like an awfully tight deadline? I imagine she's taking Qatar back, but even best case, it's 17 hours. She still has to take the bus home for hours. I just don't see her lazy butt getting up for court, even if she makes it in time. So Foodie is supposed to go to bankruptcy court on the 29th. And knowing that her flight is 17 hours, I'm like, she's got to leave earlier than that. If she wants to get home in time, get rested, and go to bankruptcy court. Do I think she's going? I don't know. If she doesn't go, then that means she still has all the debt that she has. But she has bankruptcy court. Okay, so that's it for everything. See, what is this? That's everything there. So this is a video of her taking her shahada. I'm just going to say it. I think this moment should have been left off camera. I really do. She shouldn't have put this on camera.
As to what led me here. Welcome to my life journey, and thanks for watching. So in April of 2022, I decided to go on a trip to Cuba to get away from everything and
Well, that didn't work. I decided to take a trip to Cuba and get away from everything. Well, that didn't work. You spent almost the entire trip raging and being drunk and intoxicated, so that did not work. Y'all notice that every time she travels somewhere, wherever she goes, she's mad and raging and binging. Her vacations are a fail. They are never restful. She does the same things in different locations that she does back at home. I just don't see the sense in her traveling. She doesn't do anything new or exciting. It's always the same stuff. But go ahead, Foodie.
to do some vlogging. Now, I was in the middle of a very abusive relationship.
Oh, screw you. Screw you. Abusive relationship, my butt. Who are you kidding? You faked those claims, all those things you said. You're a victim for pay. You're a victim for views. And that's coming from somebody who survived the things that you claim that you've survived. You didn't survive nothing. Shut up. Shut up. Just zip it. You had no fear of Natter. You even said yourself you exaggerated the claims. Girl, the moment I heard you say that, I was done with you. Who would do that? Who would make up claims of something so horrible? You, because you want to be a victim of something, so you're responsible for nothing? I was dealing with an abusive relationship. Oh, it was so abusive though, right? It was so abusive that you kept going back and you could spend time with him in motel and hotel rooms with no fear. And you provoked your abuser over and over, also with no fear. Girl, I'm calling you a fake. You're a fake and a phony and everything. Be quiet.
And I thought I was losing my mind. And I woke up one day and just felt an immense amount of peace, and I didn't know why. I felt at that moment like I started finding my way to Allah.
No, you didn't. Because you went to Cuba, you were raging, you were acting out of control, and you weren't a changed person when you came home. You were exactly the same, only worse. And all that drama just kept happening. So what do you mean? What do you mean?
But as a Christian, I didn't feel connected fully somehow, but I couldn't quite place my feelings. Months later, after nearly giving up on love, God sent me Salah, my beautiful...
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. God did not send you Salah. You found Salah on Tinder. You found him on a single site. You guys started talking. So it wasn't like you just bumped into each other. You saw him, decent looking dude, nice, and that was your fantasy. You essentially went over to Kuwait to role play to get some content, thinking it would blow up. It didn't. The content was a flop because there was no energy or synergy between the two of you. But you're all about whatever the guy is, whatever his personality is, whatever his culture is, you take on that rather than just be yourself. Every time you get with a new dude, you change yourself to fit what they like so they will better accept you and better tolerate you. You're a phony and a fake, Foodie. You always have been.
husband, and I went to Kuwait to marry him.
Didn't marry him.
Salah is a Muslim man. Shortly after being in the Middle East, I became a hijabi, and I can't explain the level of peace I now felt and love.
Wait a minute. Wait. Wait. You became what? I will admit that I don't know a whole lot about what it is to be a Muslim. I will admit that. And I welcome the opportunity to learn because I like to be respectful of other people's lifestyles and cultures and beliefs. I think it's very interesting to learn those things so I could learn to be more respectful of different people and their backgrounds and their points of view. Foodie, you came to Kuwait and you did not revert immediately. You didn't even get married immediately. So you didn't become anything when you arrived there.
And just total acceptance in every way, support from my husband and from God.
Now he was getting support from you. Let's talk about that $9,000 you sent him. You were supporting him, not the other way around.
And for this, I owe Allah my life. I decided that a life of servitude to Allah is what brings me the most peace.
So were you serving Allah, getting online while in Kuwait, putting down people, gossiping about people, using profanity, talking in a really gross, disgusting way? Were you serving him then? Were you honoring him then? Because I don't think so. Going after reactors, being hateful, that was you? Being a good Muslim woman? I don't think so. There's lots of wonderful Muslim people. You are exploiting a faith you probably know nothing about and you don't care. You're exploiting people and their culture, and it's disgusting, Foodie. Disgusting.
And I have failed many times to be a quote-unquote good Muslim, as I've allowed emotions and drama to get the best of me at times, and I still struggle with many demons in my life. However,
You are the biggest demon in your life. The biggest demon in your life is you. You are the negativity. You are the black hole. You are the angry. You are the negative. I don't think you have demons, Foodie. I think you are the demon in a figurative sense. I think you are your own worst monster. And you haven't learned to get that monster under control. Figure out your issues, work yourself out. Nor are you interested because your success of your channel depends on you acting out the drama, the controversy, making people angry. That's where the profit comes from. You took away the negative, there would be nothing left for people to be interested in or tune in for. So you keep it up.
I will never give up trying. Allahu Akbar. Thank you for watching my story.
Okay, you know what? I have a problem with her showing this on YouTube. There's nothing wrong with somebody taking the Shahada. I think it's very sacred, and I'm not going to show it. I think it should be respected by not showing it. I think she's being disrespectful. Showing this and profiting off of it should be a personal moment. So out of respect, in my opinion, for the Muslim faith, I'm not going to show her taking the Shahada. There's nothing wrong with taking it, but her exploiting it, I got a problem with that. So we're leaving that out.
New Quran, and it has English translation and how to pronounce everything in English. So this will be a real.
So I got a question, Foodie. Remember that vlog you did when you were looking around for abayas and hijabs? You did many vlogs where you're doing hijab shopping. You went to a shop where they had the Quran. Why didn't you pick up a copy of the Quran then if this is what interested you, if that's where your heart was telling you to go? You could have picked it up. You could have read it. You didn't do it. Now all of a sudden you got a copy. Are you going to read it? Are you going to take it in and learn from it? I seriously doubt it.
Really good read as I learn more about my new faith.
MashaAllah. Allahu Akbar. Alhamdulillah.
مبروك حبيبتي ألف مبروك إن شاء الله.
Now watch this awkward interaction between these two.
Today, Chantel, my pretty wife, became officially a Muslim, Alhamdulillah, and may Allah bless her. I love you, baby.
Hey guys.
That felt awkward. That felt really awkward. That felt really awkward. But that's the norm for those two. they're not into each other, they're not in love, they're not married. So of course the energy is going to be awkward because all it's been this entire time is just a paid companionship. And you know what, Sala, can we talk? I feel bad for you the moment the foodie calls you, and she will, and you don't pick up that phone. Have you seen her past live streams? How she goes off and she gets bent if she calls a guy and they don't pick up the phone. She's very controlling. She's very jealous and insecure. The moment you don't pick up that phone when she calls, she's going to basically roast you online. She's going to say a lot of awful things, and she's going to do it because she's feeling vengeful and wrathful, and because she's going to use that to make money on her channel. You have no idea what you're in for, Sala.
Assalamu alaikum. So today I have taken my Shahada. So I am now officially Muslim, follower of Islam. And for those of you who do not know, Shahada is the first pillar of Islam. It's an oath and creed recited, swearing to only worship Allah and to follow the word of his prophet Muhammad. So those of you who are not familiar, I'm Canadian. I am married to a Syrian Muslim here who lives in Kuwait, and we are in Kuwait right now together. So I will be going back home soon for a bit, and inshallah I will be returning. So for those of you who do not...
So let's talk about that, the tourist visa. So as Milk Tea pointed out, when you're on a tourist visa, you cannot get married on a tourist visa. So this whole marriage thing was a sham. We all know that. Even before that came out, we already knew that just by the way those two were acting. You can't marry on a tourist visa. But Foodie is anticipating she's going to go home for just a few weeks and then go back to Kuwait. You know what I think? I don't think she's ever going back. I don't think she's ever going back. She was bored out of her mind there. She couldn't do as much. She wants her freedom. She's feral. Why would she go back there? She couldn't do much. But if she's thinking she's going to go home and within a few weeks quickly get a tourist visa and come right back, she's got another thing coming.
Really know my history, and just a brief recap.
You know that Salah's partying like a fiend right now that she's gone. You know he's partying like a fiend. He is celebrating that she won't be there to get in his face and be gross. You know he's partying. Go ahead, party, Salah. You deserve it for putting up with 3 months of Foodie.
I went from being born and raised Catholic, although my family was not really terribly religious, but I was baptized and I went through communion and confirmation as a Christian follower of Christ. But that was more just of a traditional kind of indoctrination, if you will. I never really... Christianity, there was things about it that just never really fully resonated with me, made sense to me. And I went through a period of atheism, and then also became agnostic. And now I would be considered, I guess, a Muslim revert. I will talk more about the reasons for that, why I chose to follow Islam, mostly just when I came to the Middle East and met my husband, Salah. I found a sense of...
So basically you just said that the reason why you wanted to be a revert was because of Salah. You're doing it for a man. You're doing it for a man. Spirituality, whatever your beliefs are, it should be about you. It should be because you feel drawn to be part of that. It should come from the heart. It should come from the deepest part of your soul. It should be for you, not for somebody else. If you're doing it for a man or a woman, then you're not being true to yourself. And you're not going to be happy doing something or being part of something that truly isn't true to you. So you just said it was for Salah. You're doing it for a dude. To get his attention, to get his approval, to fit in with him. And that's a pattern you've always had, Foodie. Whatever guy you're around, you adapt who they are. When you got around Nader, you acted interested in his cooking, in Egyptian music, things you've never done before. And I do realize that when you meet up with people, they can potentially expose you to things you've never thought of before or experienced before. And that's the beauty about life, meeting people and experiencing different things because of coming in contact with other people. That's a great thing. But your pattern is that you're so interested in men and being with a man and being accepted by a man and being claimed by a man that you're so desperate that you take on the identity of whatever man you're with because you lack an identity of your own. I don't know if it's because you're afraid to have an identity of your own or you just don't have one. But I also think it's because you've never invested time in you. You've spent the last, 5 years investing all of your focus on the success of the character Foodie Beauty, but nothing in Chantal Marie. And that's why Chantal Marie, the person, your life is in ruins. Your health is in ruins. You are so obsessed with money and attention that you went full throttle with that and gave nothing to the person. Nothing at all. That's why your life is a mess. And you're also obsessed with men, getting their attention, getting their approval, feeling worthy of them. So if you are adapting something because of a man, something into your personality, something about faith, it is wrong for you. It's not truly you. And if it's not true to you, that means you're not going to stick with it. It's phony. It's fake. It's not the faith that's the problem. It's you faking the funk, so to speak.
Of peace when I learned more about Islam that I didn't expect to have. And I found that turning to Allah and putting my trust in Him in a lot of ways helped me deal with a lot of things that are difficult for me now, even, and things that were difficult for me. Things that I saw maybe at the time as a curse actually became a blessing in a lot of ways and a big teacher. And I still struggle with a lot of demons. And within myself, I have a lot of issues that, as you've seen online, dealing with anger and a lot of character flaws.
So speaking of your issues, Foodie, what are you doing about those issues? Are you seeking out therapy? Are you going to counseling? Have you seen a psychologist? You need these things. You also need inpatient, very strict, severe inpatient because your problem with food is completely out of control. And it's ruined your health, and it's still ruining your health. You need literally a team of people around you to help you work through all that stuff because there's so much. But honest feeling over here, I feel that you don't want to fix your issues. You are comfortable being the way that you are. You expect everybody else around you to just move around you and accept you the way you are. You have no interest in fixing yourself. You know you've got issues, but you're not taking the steps that you could to fix them. You know you've got addictions, you're not taking the steps to fix those either. And so the Foodie Beauty that is, the Chantal Marie that is, will continue to go on. And you're never going to improve. You're never going to enlighten yourself or find enlightenment. You're blocked from all that. You blocked yourself. Nobody else is stopping you. You did that.
That I continue to work on, and I know that the best way to do that for me is to be at peace with God and have.
No. Yeah, yes, you can be at peace with God or Allah. You can be at peace. You can find peace there, but at the same time you're finding peace, work on yourself. There's only so much that spirituality can do. You got to work on yourself. You give it a hand. You got to put the work in. Work on yourself.
Have faith in the grand plan. Everyone has one. So I'm officially a Muslim. What does that mean? Well, I'm in some kind of system and they take your ID, you have to fill out a form. The place where I went to take my Shahada was a very nice woman and a group of ladies, and I had to recite my oath, and she took the time to just educate me a bit on the background of Islam more. And
you know what sucks? The Muslim people in Kuwait, and even those not in Kuwait, they have accepted Foodie. They have embraced Foodie. They've embraced her and they've been kind to her. And it's really going to suck when she's done exploiting this and then she goes the other way. There's going to be a lot of anger for her then, a lot of backlash. And she's going to deserve it for exploiting the faith, for exploiting the culture and the people. She's going to deserve it. Every single bit of it, she's going to deserve it. But it sucks that they have received her with kindness and warmth and love, and they've embraced her, giving her a chance. But I hate to say it, and I'm sorry to say it, those of you that are Muslim, I'm saying this from a caring heart, prepare to be angry. Prepare to be disappointed in Foodie. Because what she's doing now, she's not really into this. This is not where her heart is at. She's not really being pulled towards that faith. She's faking the funk. The simplest way I could say it. She's faking the funk. She's doing it. She's monetizing this for views and for money and attention. And once she's bored with it, she's going to go back to the way she was. I'm just preparing all of you to be disappointed and be very sad. And there's no fault on anyone who accepted her and loved her and embraced her. The fault is not with you. The fault is with her being a soulless being that will exploit anything for money at this point.
Asked me if I accepted certain beliefs of Islam. It talked about the history, the pillars, and if I accept the pillars, if I accept the prophets, if I accept Allah as the only creator. And of course I do. Salah also purchased for me my own Quran, and it's actually a very beautiful book, and it actually has English translated, and it has how it's supposed to be pronounced, and then it has the Arabic version. So inshallah, I will take the time and learn more about my newfound faith. So I know people see so many different sides of me, some good, some not so good, and I do struggle, like I said, with becoming a better person. But inshallah, with my faith, I will continue on to keep trying to become a better version of myself. I believe that...
You know what, Foodie? Becoming a better person, it's about being a better person. Being a better person, it's about more than just putting on different clothes and subscribing to a faith. It's about doing the work on yourself and realizing what your issues are and resolving them and having an open heart and feeling remorse and regret for the things you've done and saying to yourself, I don't want to be that person anymore. I want to be better. You've been in Kuwait 3 months. You're on your way home. You have improved nothing since your time in Kuwait. We saw the exact same Foodie that we saw when you were in Canada. Exact same person. Maybe you couldn't go full throttle and really, really rage like you want to, but you're still the same. Nothing has changed.
But we are here to serve Allah, not only ourselves and our own pleasures in life. And I've lived a life of just
excess, gluttony, being the embodiment of the 7 deadly sins, didn't leave any of them out, living your life for money and being hedonistic. Yeah, that was you. That still is you. That still is you. Hurtful, wrathful, bullying, intimidating, gross, vulgar, feral. I could just keep going. That is you, Foodie. And that will continue to be you because you truly do not want to change. Changing yourself temporarily for a man to get his attention is not true change. It just isn't.
Doing what I wanted for myself and not really giving it any thought for a long time. And I just cannot believe that I lived that way for so long. And
you did that by choice. Nobody forced your hand that way. Nobody forced you to live like that. You did it because you wanted to, because you made those choices. You would come on camera and say outright, I love to do drugs and I love to eat, and nobody's going to tell me different. You chose that, just like you chose to be around Natter and all that trauma that happened with Natter. You made those choices. Nobody made them for you. You can't pass the blame off on somebody and say, oh, it was somebody else's fault. No, it was yours. It was yours. It was completely yours.
And wondered why my life was so chaotic. So I will do more videos in the future, and talking about my thoughts, my beliefs, everything like that. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them. Positive and constructive is most appreciated. Anyways, guys, thank you.
I would like to make a request, Foodie. So Salah bought you a copy of the Quran. I really, really hope that when this arc is over, and that's all it is to you, is an arc. It's being Muslim, it's a faith that other people have respect for and they adhere to. I hope that for you, as an arc, that when this is over, that the Quran, your copy of the Quran, does not end up on your bedroom floor, dirty, destroyed. Please have respect and give the Quran to someone that can use it. Thank you.
Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys. Masalama.
So that's it for her blog, and that's it for my react to everything. Foodie is on her way home. She'll be home in, I would say, about 4 or 5 hours if her flight arrives on time. Don't know when she's going to resurface, but I'm predicting right now that this thing with her being newly reverted, it won't last long, guys. It can't. She knows where her money is made at. She's going to keep this going for a little while, and then she's going to switch. The old Foodie is dying to come out. Has been bottled up for 3 months. But just to keep everybody on edge, she's going to keep this up. But the moment she goes back to her normal, feral, disgusting, gross self, that's when the backlash is going to happen. All we have to do is wait. You just have to be patient. So with that said, I'm going to end this react here. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. Thank you very much for watching, and have a very pleasant morning. Take care. Bye-bye.